if we don't love your mother, we don't really love you, motherfucker.
I know what he says sounds harsh, and it is, but let's talk about it. Take a deep breath, because you're going to get probably offended about this. But we've already addressed that men don't have to be attracted to you. They don't have to like you. They don't have to see a future with you to have sex with you. We made that very clear. I think everybody should be on one accord with this and understanding that men don't have to want you at all in any capacity to have sex with you. Now that we got that out the way, I need you to understand that because of this, when you lay down and have sex with them and you get pregnant, because there was never a connection between him and you, there will never be a connection between him and that child either. He did not want you, and he absolutely did not want a child with you. I mean, when I say this, if you got pregnant from a situationship, from a man who was never committed to you, never asked to be with you, you was always on his time, he was inconsistent, please understand that it will not change once you have that baby, right? The same thing that he did with you is the same thing that's going to happen with that baby, and probably even worse, because the reality of it is, when these men don't really want you, they wish they could make the whole situation with the baby go away. But since they can't, they just gonna pretend like it never even happened. And this is why they not in them children's life. Because they did not want you, and they absolutely didn't want a child with you. So at this point, they are just gonna pretend there is no baby. And they gonna go on about their life like it never even happened, right? Or if they still want sex from you, the conditions of them dealing with that child will be on the conditions of you still sleeping with them. And when you stop sleeping with them and giving them access to you, they will cut that child off right along with it.
You know, I never really never thought about it, but she's absolutely right. Maybe not 100% right, because you can't judge everybody across the board generally. But if you take a man, it could be situations. A man doesn't have to be in love with a female or a woman to have a, relations with. He doesn't. I know I was a young man at one time. I used to be a good looking man at one time when I was younger. And it was no problem me, getting certain women. And especially the ones that were plain looking. And, there were situations where I might be in a particular club or whatever, and, you get with this one woman that you're talking about, and you can't get the one that you really want, but you want to get busy, you know what I'm saying? You're young, hormones are popping. You get with this, you have relationships with her. But you don't want a relationship with her. You just, want to have fun. But but my case, I always made sure I was strapped. So I was responsible. But you got a lot of men out there that are not responsible. You got a lot of women out there that are not responsible, because the buck stops with the woman. If she doesn't want to have the baby, she's not going to have a child. So you can't put the whole blame on the guy. But she's absolutely right in what she's saying. If he didn't love her, he's not going to have anything to do with that child. He's going to tell her, like, look, hey, here's some money. Do what you got to do. Well, that's no longer these days, because things have changed as far as the laws. But I'm just saying. She's right, what she's saying. She's right. He's not going to see that child because he had nothing connected with her. It was just a fly-by-night thing. One-night stand, whatever you want to call it. And who suffers in the end? The child. The child suffers in the end. So you have an irresponsible man and an irresponsible woman. See, you have to put the woman on it. You cannot take her out of the equation as far as being part of the blame and that child being born. And a one-night stand. You see what I'm saying? Both of them should have been responsible, but that's not always the case. But yes, I agree with her, 95%. But like I said, it depends on the individual. But if a man got a booger baby, he's not going to want to have a child by her. You have to excuse me for what I said, booger. That's what I used to call him back in the day. Or I apologize, unattractive woman to him. He's not going to want to have a child, and he's not going to want to have anything to do with it. He's going to tell her to get rid of it. Well, I don't care how you do it, one way or the other. And he's not going to have anything to do with it. In most cases.